In 2007, the United States Mint launched an ambitious numismatic program known as the Presidential $1 Coin Program, authorized by the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005. The purpose of this program was to honor the legacy of America's presidents by issuing golden-colored dollar coins bearing their likenesses in the order in which they served. One of the early figures commemorated in this series was Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who served from 1801 to 1809. His coin, released in 2007, encapsulates a pivotal moment in American history and the enduring legacy of one of the nation's most brilliant, controversial, and visionary founding fathers. The obverse front of the coin features a portrait of Jefferson, along with inscriptions of his name, the order of his presidency, third president, and the years of his term in office, 1801-1809. Sculpted by Joseph Mena, this rendition captures Jefferson's dignified and contemplative demeanor, consistent with his reputation as a philosopher-statesman. Unlike earlier dollar coins, this series also moved the date, mint mark, and mottos like E pluribus unum and In God We Trust to the edge of the coin, a numismatic innovation designed to maximize the obverse and reverse design space, while reflecting early coinage practices from the 18th century. The reverse back of the coin features a classic image of the Statue of Liberty designed by Don Everhart, symbolizing freedom, enlightenment, and the enduring principles of the American Republic. This design choice, used for all coins in the presidential series, aimed to maintain consistency while allowing each president's portrait to stand out uniquely on the obverse. The Jefferson coin, struck in a manganese brass-clad composition, 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel, has a golden hue, giving it a distinctive appearance reminiscent of the Sacagawea dollar introduced earlier in 2000. The coin measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter and weighs 8.1 grams, conforming to the specifications set for all presidential dollars. Despite their striking appearance and historical value, these coins were not widely accepted by the public for circulation, primarily due to the dominance of the paper dollar and limited demand for dollar coins in everyday transactions. However, they have found a cherished place among collectors and educators, serving as tangible links to America's political heritage. Thomas Jefferson's inclusion in this series is particularly fitting, given his towering influence on American history. Born in 1743 in Shadwell, Virginia, Jefferson was a polymath, a statesman, diplomat, philosopher, inventor, architect, linguist, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His presidency was marked by several monumental achievements, the most significant of which was the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, which doubled the size of the United States and opened vast western territories for exploration and settlement. This acquisition, negotiated with Napoleon Bonaparte of France, cost $15 million and has been regarded as one of the most shrewd land deals in history. It led directly to the famous Lewis and Clark expedition, which Jefferson commissioned to explore and map the new territories, establish trade with Native American tribes, and assert American presence in the West. Jefferson also attempted to maintain American neutrality amid growing tensions between Britain and France during the Napoleonic Wars, though his Embargo Act of 1807 intended to punish European powers. Through economic pressure, proved deeply unpopular and economically damaging to American merchants. Domestically, Jefferson's presidency emphasized a limited federal government and strict adherence to constitutional principles, although in practice, the Louisiana Purchase challenged his own interpretation of executive authority. He reduced the national debt, slashed military expenditures, and worked to dismantle the centralized financial systems established by Alexander Hamilton. An advocate of agrarian democracy, Jefferson envisioned the United States as a republic of independent yeoman farmers with minimal interference from a strong central government. His commitment to civil liberties was evident in his opposition to the Alien and Sedition Acts of the Adams administration, which he saw as draconian and contrary to the First Amendment. Yet Jefferson's legacy is not without controversy. While he authored stirring words about liberty and human equality, he was also a slaveholder who owned over 600 enslaved people during his lifetime and profited from their labor. The complex paradox between his ideals and his personal practices has fueled ongoing historical debate and reflection, and it remains an essential aspect of how we interpret his life and contributions. In addition to his presidential achievements, Jefferson's cultural and intellectual impact on the United States is profound. He founded the University of Virginia, envisioned as a place of free inquiry without religious or political influence, reflecting his Enlightenment-inspired belief in reason and education. Architecturally, Jefferson left his mark through his design of Monticello, his neoclassical estate in Virginia, and through his influence on the architectural identity of the young nation. He was fluent in several languages, including French, Latin, and Greek, and maintained a vast personal library, which later became the foundation for the Library of Congress after the British burned Washington, D.C. during the War of 1812. Though he retired from public life after his presidency, Jefferson continued to correspond with many of his contemporaries, including John Adams, with whom he reconciled late in life. Remarkably, both men died on the same day, July 4, 1826, exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was adopted, a coincidence that cemented their place in American lore. Thus, the 2007 Thomas Jefferson presidential $1 coin is far more than a piece of metal. It is a finely crafted tribute to a man whose vision, intellect, and contradictions helped shape the identity of the United States. Whether held by collectors, educators, or citizens curious about their history, the coin serves as a gateway to exploring one of the most fascinating figures in American political and philosophical thought. Its design encapsulates both Jefferson's achievements and the broader ideals of the American Republic he helped to define. Although these coins may no longer circulate widely, their educational and symbolic value remains as vibrant as ever, preserving the story of Jefferson for future generations in the palm of the hand. The 2009 William Henry Harrison $1 coin, a window into the past. In 2009, the United States Mint issued a $1 coin featuring William Henry Harrison, the 9th President of the United States. As part of the presidential $1 coin program, which began in 2007 and honored the presidents of the United States in the order they served, the Harrison dollar holds a unique place, not just because of the man it commemorates, but also due to the symbolic and historical weight it carries. Historical context of the coin's subject: William Henry Harrison, 1773-1841, was born into a prominent Virginia family and had a storied military and political career long before he became president. He was the last president born as a British subject before American independence and was the son of Benjamin Harrison III, a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Harrison gained national fame as a military leader, most notably during the War of 1812. He became known as the Hero of Tippecanoe for his victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, where he led U.S. forces against Native American warriors associated with the Shawnee leader Tecumseh and his brother, the prophet Tenskwatawa. This earned him the nickname Old Tippecanoe and helped propel him into politics. In 1840, Harrison ran for president under the Whig Party, defeating incumbent President Martin Van Buren in what was one of the first modern presidential campaigns, characterized by catchy slogans, Tippecanoe and Tyler too, symbols, log cabins and hard cider, and wide public engagement. However, his presidency was tragically short-lived. He delivered the longest inaugural address in history, lasting nearly 2 hours, on a cold and wet day without wearing a hat or coat. Just 31 days later, he died of pneumonia, making his term the shortest of any U.S. president. Design and symbolism of the coin. The obverse, front of the coin, features a right-facing portrait of President William Henry Harrison, designed by Joseph Mena, a talented sculptor-engraver for the U.S. Mint. The image captures Harrison with a serious and dignified expression, reflecting both his military background and the gravity of presidential office. His hair is sculpted in a style appropriate to the early 19th century, and the high relief of the coin accentuates the sharpness of his facial features. Inscribed along the rim of the obverse are William Henry Harrison, his full name displayed in capital letters. 9th President, indicating his place in the sequence of American presidents. Anna 41, the year he served the shortest in U.S. history. The reverse back of the coin, consistent across the presidential $1 series, features a dramatic depiction of the Statue of Liberty designed by Don Everhart, another Mint engraver. The image is striking. Liberty raises her torch high, her robes flowing with a sense of grandeur and timelessness. It serves as a reminder of America's founding ideals of freedom, enlightenment, and perseverance. Above the statue is the inscription, United States of America, and to the left of the statue, the denomination is stated simply as $1. The design aims for elegance and simplicity, reinforcing the nation's identity and values. What makes the presidential $1 coins especially unique is their use of edge lettering, a nod to early American coinage. On the edge of the 2009 Harrison dollar, you'll find the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," the national motto, which had traditionally been on the face of U.S. coins, but was relocated to the edge for most of the presidential series coins issued from 2007 to mid-2009. 2009 is the year of minting, e pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one, emphasizing national unity, mint mark, either P, Philadelphia, D, Denver, or S, San Francisco for proofs. Interestingly, the placement of "In God We Trust" on the edge sparked controversy. Critics felt the motto's relocation was disrespectful, prompting Congress to pass legislation in late 2007 requiring the motto to be moved back to the obverse of the coins. As a result, beginning mid-2009, starting with the Zachary Taylor coin, "In God We Trust" was restored to the obverse. The Harrison dollar is one of the last to have it on the edge, making it a piece of numismatic transition. The 2009 William Henry Harrison dollar was struck in large quantities, though not as high as earlier presidential coins, as public demand for the series began to wane. Here's a breakdown of mintage figures. Philadelphia Mint, P. Approximately 43,260,000 coins Denver Mint, D. Approximately 55 of 160,000 coins San Francisco Mint, S. Approximately 2,809,452 proof coins not intended for circulation. Although initially released into circulation, many of these coins never saw wide use in daily transactions. Instead, they were hoarded by collectors or stockpiled in government vaults due to the general lack of public enthusiasm for the dollar coin, particularly as the paper dollar remained in circulation. The Harrison $1 coin is a poignant piece for collectors, historians, and educators. It offers a chance to discuss presidential history, the evolution of American coinage, and how symbolism plays into national identity. Its connection to a president who served the shortest term also makes it one of the more memorable entries in the series. Although not rare in terms of mintage, Harrison dollars can have some value in pristine mint state MS condition or as part of a complete presidential dollar collection. Proof versions, struck with specially polished dies for collectors, are more desirable, particularly in deep cameo condition. The 2009 William Henry Harrison $1 coin is more than a monetary object. It is a carefully crafted tribute to a man whose presidency was brief but whose life encompassed significant chapters of American history. From frontier battles to early democratic politics, from military heroism to presidential tragedy, Harrison's story encapsulates the complexity of the American experiment. As a piece of circulating numismatic art, the Harrison dollar invites reflection on mortality, on leadership, and on how a nation remembers its past. Through its metal surface, we see not only the face of a forgotten president, but the layered story of a country shaped by both its triumphs and its missteps.
2011 U.S. dollar coin, Rutherford B. Hayes, 19 present, 1877 to 1881. Part 1. The coin overview. The 2011 Rutherford B. Hayes $1 coin is part of the Presidential $1 coin program, a series initiated by the United States Mint in 2007 to honor each U.S. president in the order of their service. The Hayes coin was the third release of 2011 and the 19th overall in the series, reflecting his position as the 19th President of the United States. The coin's obverse front features a detailed portrait of Rutherford Bircher Hayes, designed and engraved by United States Mint sculptor-engraver Don Everhart. Around the rim are inscribed, Rutherford B. Hayes, In God We Trust, 19th President, 1877 to 1881. The reverse back shows the iconic Statue of Liberty, consistent with all coins in the presidential dollar series. It was designed by Don Everhart as well. The denomination $1 appears prominently. Edge inscriptions, a unique feature of the series, include the year of minting 2011, The mint mark P Diores e pluribus unum. Composition. The coin is not made of precious metal, but instead of manganese brass clad, giving it a golden appearance. Metallic composition. 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, 2% nickel. Diameter, 26.5 millimeters. Weight, 8.1 grams. Edge, lettered, not reeded. The coin was struck at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints for circulation, and San Francisco, S, mint for collector-proof sets. Part 2, Historical and Numismatic Context. The presidential dollar series aimed to reintroduce Americans to their historical leaders while encouraging interest in coin collecting. Though the coins were released into general circulation, their golden color and unusual edge inscriptions made them primarily collectible. The Hayes dollar was part of the 2011 release group, alongside coins honoring Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, and James A. Garfield. The Hayes coin followed Grant, whose administration Hayes succeeded in 1877. Although the coin is not considered rare, some collector interest exists for varieties with errors, such as missing edge inscriptions, double lettering, or weak strikes. These varieties can carry added value. The coin also reflects Hayes's complicated legacy, a president remembered for the controversial election of 1876, the end of Reconstruction and civil service reform. Part 3. Rutherford B. Hayes, Biography and Presidency. Born October 4th, 1822, Delaware, Ohio. Died January 17th, 1893, Fremont, Ohio. Party, Republican. Presidential term, March 4th, 1877 to March 4th, 1881. Early life and Civil War service. Rutherford Hayes was born to Sophie Burchard Hayes and Rutherford Hayes, Sr., a farmer who died before his son's birth. Raised by his mother and uncle, Hayes attended Kenyon College, graduating at the top of his class, and later earned a law degree from Harvard Law School in 1845. He practiced law in Cincinnati and gained a reputation for integrity. During the Civil War, he joined the Union Army and rose to the rank of brevet major general. He was wounded multiple times and praised for his bravery. Political rise and Ohio governorship. After the war, Hayes entered politics, serving in Congress and then winning 3 terms as governor of Ohio. He became known for moderate views and his support for the Union cause, education reform, and African American rights. His record made him a suitable compromise candidate for the Republican Party in 1876. The election of 1876, the compromise and controversy. Hayes's 1876 election remains one of the most contested in U.S. history. He ran against Democrat Samuel J. Tilden, who won the popular vote and initially appeared to have the Electoral College advantage. However, disputes over votes in Florida, Louisiana, and South Carolina led to a constitutional crisis. A bipartisan electoral commission was formed, and under what became known as the Compromise of 1877, Hayes was awarded all disputed votes, winning the presidency by one electoral vote, 185 to 184. In return, Republicans agreed to withdraw federal troops from the South, effectively ending Reconstruction. Presidency, major events, and legacy. The removal of federal troops allowed Southern Democrats to regain political control. Although Hayes promised to protect the civil rights of African Americans, his inability to enforce protections led to Jim Crow laws, disenfranchisement, and segregation. Historians often debate whether Hayes betrayed Black Americans or simply lacked the power to stop the tide of Southern retrenchment. Hayes fought against the spoils system, where political supporters were rewarded with government jobs. He tried to institute merit-based appointments, a campaign continued later by President Chester A. Arthur. His stand against powerful party machines, such as those led by Senator Roscoe Conkling, marked an early moment in the progressive push for government reform. Hayes faced one of the earliest national labor crises when the Great Railroad Strike of 1877 erupted. Workers, protesting wage cuts, halted rail traffic in multiple states. Hayes sent federal troops to quell the unrest, resulting in dozens of deaths. While some praised his maintenance of order, others saw the action as favoring industrial interests over labor rights. Hayes believed in civilizing Native Americans and supported their assimilation through education and Christianity. He advocated for the creation of Indian boarding schools. While framed as humanitarian at the time, such policies are now recognized as deeply harmful to Native culture and autonomy. Hayes favored sound currency policies and worked to restore confidence in the U.S. dollar. The Resumption Act of 1875, implemented during his presidency in 1879, restored the gold standard and helped stabilize the post-Civil War economy. Hayes did not seek re-election, honoring his promise to serve only one term. He retired to his home in Spiegel Grove, Ohio, where he focused on education, prison reform, and racial equality. He supported black colleges, served as a trustee for Ohio State University, and opposed the growing wealth divide in America. He died in 1893 of a heart attack and was buried in Fremont, Ohio. Historical reputation. Rutherford B. Hayes is a president often overshadowed by the circumstances of his election. His presidency is remembered for moral integrity, efforts at government reform, the compromised end of Reconstruction. While not considered a great president, he is recognized for his honesty and quiet determination during a turbulent period in U.S. history. Coin collecting and cultural significance. The 2011 Hayes dollar, though not rare, holds importance for collectors interested in presidential memorabilia, U.S. monetary history, coins with educational value. The design serves as a small but tangible reminder of a president whose actions had long-lasting consequences, particularly for African Americans in the post-Civil War South. Collectors often pair the Hayes dollar with related memorabilia, such as proof sets, mint rolls, or even historic newspapers covering the 1876 election, to contextualize the coin's importance. The U.S. Presidential $1 Coin Program. A brief overview. The Presidential $1 Coin Program was authorized by the Presidential $1 Coin Act of 2005. The initiative launched in 2007, issuing $1 coins in the order that the president served. Each coin features a portrait of a U.S. president on the obverse front and a common reverse back, designs showing the Statue of Liberty. This series aimed to honor former presidents and promote the use of $1 coins in daily commerce. Obverse design, John Tyler. Design details. Name, John Tyler, appears at the top. Portrait, a right-facing bust of President Tyler. Inscription, along the lower edge, In God We Trust, 10th President. 1841 to 1845, years he served. Designer. The initials PH beneath the bust stand for Phoebe Hemphill, one of the U.S. Mint sculptor engravers. Historical context. John Tyler became president in 1841 after the sudden death of President William Henry Harrison, who served only 31 days, the shortest presidency in U.S. history. Tyler was the first vice president to succeed the presidency due to the death of his predecessor, establishing an important constitutional precedent. His administration is known for the annexation of Texas and for his firm support of states' rights. Despite being a former Democrat turned Whig, he often clashed with his own party, leading most of his cabinet to resign and the Whigs to expel him. Reverse design, Statue of Liberty. Design details. Features the Statue of Liberty holding her torch high. Inscriptions. $1 to denote the denomination. United States of America encircles the top and sides. Designer. The Statue of Liberty reverse was designed and sculpted by Don Everhart, a renowned U.S. Mint engraver. Symbolism. The Statue of Liberty symbolizes freedom and democracy, making it a fitting national image for the reverse of this commemorative series. It also served to promote American ideals and values, reflecting the nation's foundational identity. Edge inscriptions, not shown in the image but important. Unlike most modern coins, presidential $1 coins have edge inscriptions, which typically include the year of minting, e.g. 2009, mint mark, e.g. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. These features made the series distinctive in modern U.S. coinage history. Composition and specifications. Material, manganese brass-clad composition, 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, 2% nickel, Weight, 8.1 grams. Diameter, 26.5 millimeters. Edge, lettered with inscriptions as noted above. This unique alloy gives the coin a golden appearance, distinguishing it visually from standard U.S. coins in circulation. Mintage and circulation. The John Tyler coin was released in 2009 as part of the third year of the presidential $1 coin program. Minted at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D mints. Tens of millions were produced, though the exact mintage depends on the mint and whether it's a business strike or collector's version proof. Despite high production numbers, the coin didn't gain significant traction in everyday use due to the continued dominance of paper currency and public unfamiliarity with dollar coins. Circulated value, typically $1 face value, unless in uncirculated or proof condition. Uncirculated coins may be worth $2 to $4 to collectors. Proof versions, struck at San Francisco with mirror finish, can fetch higher prices, especially in original packaging. Factors affecting value include condition grade, mint mark, presence of edge lettering errors. Some coins are mistakenly minted with missing inscriptions, known as godless dollars. Legacy and educational importance. The John Tyler $1 coin serves as both a historical artifact and an educational piece. It brings attention to a lesser-remembered president whose actions had lasting constitutional impact. For educators, collectors, and history enthusiasts, this coin is a conversation starter about early 19th century American politics, constitutional precedent, and the evolution of presidential authority. From a numismatic standpoint, it reflects the U.S. Mint's efforts to make coins more engaging and historically enriching. It's part of a broader movement to elevate public appreciation for American leaders and the stories they shape.